Pretty.
Tulsa's #1 podcast.
Showtime, baby.
It's Castro X, Eyes Open, dubbed the home of the emotionally naked. A podcast about anything and everything. If you don't like it, with all due respect, fuck you.
I'm about to lasso Castro the asshole, turn him into mincemeat for a ramen casserole. Feed it to a thick booty bad bitch. She'll fucking kill me if I try to feed her cabbage. Pussy fried catfish. I'ma hit them boys with Mandalorian hat tricks. I ain't never had shit till I turn to rapping. Po rapper to rapper, kappa lambda. I'm on some fried shit, packing on packers damage, stamina stacking damage, acting out like an asses. If you move it against me, it's like molasses. Should've taken some classes. Baby, what is he rapping? If you couldn't hack it, then maybe you should trash it. I'ma serve it like a delivery package. Misery's a habit in the latest fashion. She like to pull up in the fastest. Hoop me with the black tip. We get it crackin', she releasing the dragon. Hold up, fire breathing. I am not a heathen. I am just a lion crushing everything he's saying. Heat-seeking missile launcher with a beacon. With all due respect, fuck you for even speaking, ho.
Yo, it's your man King Castro X coming at y'all live and direct with the With All Due Respect podcast, man. We in the building. I got Gavin the God sitting on my right side, you know what I'm saying? As usual, say what's up to the people, guys.
What's up, people?
That's nice. You really put that in there.
Put all my heart into
Man, we got a very special guest in the building today, man. The first time I met this man, just to paint a little bit of a little background story, was at the With All Due Respect Live, you know what I'm saying, at the Shrine. Had my boy from the Okie podcast, Russell Sun Eagle, had Tock signals out there, as well as Magnaz all the way from California. We're watching their podcast. Next thing you know, this Goliath of a man, this towering superhero of an individual walks into the building, walks directly up to the stage to wave to Russell Sun Eagle and everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've never seen a man like this man until you see him in person. It's a very impressive sight, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
So as he walks in, you know what I mean? He says what's up, this and that, and next thing you know, a little bit later, man, you know, I go to the back and I finally get to meet him. I find out this is, you know, Danial Warrior in the motherfucking building, man.
That's right.
How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. You know what I'm saying? We just spent a good 30, 40 minutes just talking and getting to know the man. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of our first time talking outside of that, man. But he's done a lot of great things. He's on his way to do even more greater things.
That's right.
Does that work? Greater things? I can say that, yeah.
Yeah, there's always greater things.
More great things. Yeah, more great things.
There you go.
Great.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
This is greater, better, more. I don't know. How do you say that? How do you
Either
further
way.
that?
He's going to
There's
do
a-
greater
I'm gonna
things,
do more
or he's
on my
gonna
way.
do more great things.
Yeah.
Either way.
You climbing the ladder to
Oh,
greatness.
this
My guy. Climbing the ladder to greatness.
The judges say that.
How the fuck you feeling, man?
Dude, it's a hard question because
Very open-ended.
yeah, well, in a lot of ways, I'm grateful every day, but it's good to see that there's still like real people in the world. You guys, still good to see that, you know, after all the shit we've been through, that we can still get together and do amazing things and break the barriers that people want us to have, and they think that we hate each other, and I don't want to let them win.
Mm-hmm.
So
One thing, man, that I want to ask you, man, that I feel is just, you know what I mean, really interesting to me, because you've connected with my brother Russell Sun Eagle and other people, and now, and as I said, you're
Russell.
doing some really incredible. Shout out to Russell, man, Okie podcast. You're doing some,
podcast, everybody.
you're doing
Check
some
it out.
things that are very amazing. So to get to know, or to have the opportunity to have somebody like you in my life that's doing the things you're doing, I remember just sitting and, you know, my man's an actor, things of that sort. So I remember sitting watching TV, you know what I mean? And now I'm in the building with actors. You get to spend time with these people. Did you ever think, I guess this is where I'm going, did you ever think you would end up living this lifestyle that you're living now?
Actually, yes. I manifested that when I was a kid. I've always.
That's the right answer. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's an awesome man. Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me because I knew it was gonna be hard. Getting through the hard part was yes that I made it. This, I guess, the way I did the journey was the hard part. I found out the hardest way to do it.
Right.
the absolute very hardest way. So,
I completely feel that.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I found the hardest way to do it, and it was the most rewarding because it wasn't about the trophy; it was about the journey.
Mm.
So where'd you get started, man?
I'm a star child.
Star Child.
I came from the stars, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not from here. That's how I got an aerial view still.
Mm.
So we come from the sky. I'm one of the giants, one of the chosen people. I'm from Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's still debatable. I think that I was born in a cave. I told my mother that she found me in a Walmart trash can and that I belonged to a Chinese family. And I came out like that. And I would tell her about when I used to watch her from the stars in the sky and told her right above that cloud. And I used to look down on her. I used to tell her stories about how she used to cry. And
Talk to me.
I never wanted to see her cry again.
Mm.
So my journey started with, I guess, the right intent, the right purpose, and my vision. I'm a visionary. I've always seen things before they were there. That's how I create.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I can paint anything and tattoo. And I see things and then I make it happen. But yeah, if you want to say that. But
I think that's definitely beautiful, man. I want to kind of talk about, you know what I'm saying? Basically, my bad, I done fell off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's where like your motivation comes from for doing all these great things, for acting, tattooing, all that stuff.
Of that's a whole different thing. All right. So I'm coming up. My first book. It's called "It All Started the Day I Touched My Toes," and I was about 400 pounds. I couldn't pick my kid up. I couldn't chase after my kid. I couldn't get out of bed without my back hurting. I had 6 back surgeries. I was like, this is it. I was a radio DJ in New York, and I was just sit and talk. I mean, on the radio all day. And I just kind of lost hope. It was the weather. You know, it snows all the time up there, and it just everything about it. And then one day I just said, I'm not dead yet. You know, I'm like sitting there like, I'm not gonna go out like this, am I? Like, this is. I said, well, what can I do different? And I said, well, I wonder if I can touch my toes. And I tried, and I couldn't get close. I was like mid shin, and I was like, nope. And I kept trying the next morning and trying to hurt really bad. And then a month later, I got it. I touched it, and then a little bit after, I got the floor, and I was like, bro, if I could touch my toes, I could go on a red carpet with Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hell of a concept. So think of Kill Bill. Your big toe.
Right? Yeah. It was like step by step. I was like, do this. I was like, Forrest. If I get to the end of the block, I can go to the end of town, and I go to the next. You know, and I just kept saying like,
Steps.
if I do that, I can do that. And then I just found out I'm pretty powerful because I was an alcoholic for 8 years, and I was hidden away. No one heard from me. I didn't hear from anyone else, and that's all I knew was like failure. I guess just failure myself. So the motivation was like, if I could be a failure myself, why couldn't I be a hero to myself?
That's crazy.
And I touched my toes, and I was like, I did it. You know, I I worked at something. No one else will think that's cool, but I did, and I did it. And so I just like, watch this. So I went outside and I went and started doing yoga, meditation, read books, started eating healthy, turned my phone off, run with my kids, walked the dog, got up when I didn't want to get up, put my feet in the mud, yelled at the sky, burned sage. I just turned some like powwow music on and just danced in the field by myself. Because we were alone in New York. We were on a slab on a generator for 4 months. Once the pandemic hit, they cut our business. We couldn't go to work anymore, and they said, "You're still gonna have to pay us for your stuff to be at your shop in this building." And at storage fees. Like, that's not my storage, and I can't afford that. I can't afford my house, and so we got a camper and a van, and we just took off. And I never let anything stop me. I started doing the hard work. I was looking for stuff to do. I was looking for things to pick up on the floor, you know, because every time I got more, I could get further down. I could get. It's like, yeah, and the pain was almost like I was fucking like caterpillar, like in a cocoon, you know, like stretching this thing out, like, and I was doing like taking time with my wife, like stuff like that, like the hard stuff. So, and,
I think that's beautiful. That in those tough times is, you know what I'm saying, kind of what shifted you to family. Family is key. Family is everything. You got 5 kids and all of that. What's it like, you know what I'm saying, having to raise your tribe in that sense, if you will?
It's amazing to me. I mean, to know that you can like replicate yourself and like have these little eyes looking up at you, like reaching for you for no reason. And I was an alcoholic in the street. Why would this baby reach for me? I didn't do anything, you know. I never did really like a lot. Like I think my standards are really high, but I always like it's I had a lot of money. I've had no money, but like it didn't mean anything compared to that. Little baby reaching for me for no reason, and I'm like the biggest center, you know, and giving me a chance. So
what's beautiful is they never see that though. They don't, you know what I mean. When they're that age, it doesn't register. You're the superhero as you stand before us today. You know what I mean. They see the potential in you before anybody else, I feel. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to the kids. All right, so you're in New York, you know what I'm saying? Things are going bad. You get up, you start working. You know what I mean? Really trying to put
solar panels
together.
On that thing.
True indeed.
Like,
what's
ripped out
next?
the sink.
Right. What comes after that, man? What was the next step to your journey, man? When you started making that progress to your weight loss, things like that, what came after?
I guess it was the decision. Like, I've tried everything safe. I've tried everything that was supposed to be in line. I went to college. I went to church every day. I did all the right stuff, and look where I am. I'm still like no one's coming to help me. No one's coming to save me. And I have kids in the middle of New York, minus 20. I don't know how to work the electric. There's no electric in this camper that we had to move into. Spent our last money to get it. There's 2 electric plugs in the whole thing that work. I can't start the generator because I don't know anything about mechanics. Right. So you're supposed to put oil in your generator before you start yanking the cord off.
Just a little piece of advice.
Gosh, my arm, I think it still hurts today. I was like, I got to get my kids warm, and I'm pulling this thing, yelling at Creator, and like through the mountains of New York. And then my wife's like, hey, I think that she's like, you should probably read that book underneath it. Like, it's not there to catch the oil or catch the, you know.
What was it?
It was the instruction, yeah. And so it says, put oil. Do not try to start like first thing. So that's where I started, because I was a graphic designer, a radio DJ. So I'm in here like this. Hey, welcome to the morning show. This is DJ Hightower on one of 6.9K hits. And they're like, whoa. But now I have to use tools and I have to learn how to. I had calluses. My wife's like, go tear out that sink. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And she just bought me this whole nice kit. And then I just had to learn. So that's what I'm saying, I put solar panels on it. And then once you do something like that, you become powerful. Because you're like, you can't do that. I can do that. And so all these skills that I had to learn, like now I can do that and you can't. So if we were in the woods, I would eat you.
You survive.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like, I don't. That's how it is, man. When you're out there and you start thinking, like, you hear wolves howling out there in New York and like the snow coming in sideways and you can see snow coming in your house. I was like breaking sticks and like.
You had to learn how to survive, man. I think that's incredible.
You had your kids all in there with a space heater, and you just say, tomorrow if I do this tattoo, I can get a hitch put on this thing. And then we can hook it up, and then I can go take it to get a sticker on the back of it.
Right.
And then we can get out of the state. Then we can go. But the DMV's closed down, so we can't do any of that. So we're stuck until the DMV opens. So we signed up for the first day it opened. And now that was 4 months later. So we're like, we got to survive out here. No one's coming to help us. And anyway, I don't want to tell that story like a victim, but it was like going from that and the mindset of like these successful people. It's not because they have money. Money's nothing. It's what they have in here and here. Like I walk in every room knowing I'm holding aces. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't do what I did.
So did it take you going through that to establish that self-confidence, that confidence within
Yeah,
yourself?
man, I have the worst confidence. I'm shy. I wear sunglasses everywhere because I see everybody staring at me. I'm 6'10", so like everywhere I go, people stare. But I was, before I grew, I was an introvert. I was this little science math nerd back in the room doing art in the back room, and I never wanted. And then I grew like a foot in like 9 months, and I was like from 8th to 9th grade, and I came back and like coaches started liking me, girls started liking me, like had some friends that were like popular guys that had rich families and started doing rich things. And like I was a poor kid from 4th Street, but I could dunk a basketball.
Right.
I could dunk a basketball anytime, anyway. And then I like the feeling of it, all the frustration that I couldn't take out on my bullies, maybe my family members, my brothers. I would just take that and I would say, you may beat me like in here right now, but watch what I can do out here. I step on that court, I'm someone different. I step on that Hollywood movie set, I'm someone different. Because I have all these like channeled frustrations that only I know about, and I know I can do that much better. Because this morning I played 2 hours of drums, beating Tool. I beat like all these like 90s hardcore grunge. I beat them today. I played every note they did, maybe even better with some extra stuff. So if you didn't do that today, you can't talk to me.
I think that's a very unique way of viewing it. If y'all notice, my man uses the words "I beat them." Today, I can't. To a degree, I view it because I view myself as a conqueror. You know what I'm saying? I set up a dream. I set out for a dream. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking some shit I want to do, and then I go out and I make that happen. And I love that you use that lingo. You know what I mean? I beat them today.
Yeah.
Today, this is something that I took. This is me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I completely feel that. I relate to that a lot. Tell me about, man, how you kind of stepped into the field of acting, man.
That was that decision. And try to tell that to your wife when you're in the snow in New York with kids.
Shit's all bad, yeah.
Babe, I'm gonna be an actor.
Yeah.
Just like,
I got
what?
this.
Yeah. What about these little mouths in here you gotta feed?
Wolves howling in the background and shit.
Yeah. Like literally.
Still ain't putting no oil in the
Literally.
generator.
And all
Like,
you
it's
hear is
so
the
loud.
yeah. All you hear is
No, 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 no,
that you hear that all night long. That generator doesn't stop. And guess what? Every 6 hours, yeah, you sound just fucking like it. Oh shit! I was having flashbacks, dude. Don't. That's exactly what it sounds like when you cover your ears. Oh, dude. So that and like and if it even goes off, you hear it go off, and you go check on your kids, make sure it wasn't off for too long. You feel their noses and their faces and make sure because they're all huddled under this like. Well, luckily we got some like nice like mountain climbing sleeping bags. Yeah, I just stuffed them all in there, and I was like, "Well, we're gonna make it another night." And then I went to work the next morning. I started doing push-ups, you know. And my daughter saw me out there, and she put. What's else did she put her brother's shoes in front of my nose while I was doing push-ups just so I could push up some more?
That's smart. Shout out to the kids.
So, little stuff like that. And so our family got close. Like we were at each other's throats. Imagine being in a 38-foot camper this close to each other all the time. One bathroom, a trundle bed, and everyone it was just, you found a way.
I feel like that's the kind of situation that will really make or break, you know what I mean, a family or people in general, man.
No, it was testing. You know what we did? I just came up with this. It's cool now because it was out of frustration. I went and I had a tent, one of those like quick open tents, and I threw it out in the backyard. And that was everybody's timeout. You know?
That's smart.
So,
Gotta have that.
oh man. And for my little son, it was the what do we call it? what is, in Harlem Nights. Oh no, it's called the Boom Boom Room. We were just going in just like
life.
Yeah, I knew it was Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy and it's Eddie Ray and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
That's a
So I
good-
was thinking like there's like the Boom Boom Room. We go and just like shoulder each other and fall and start laughing. And so I documented a lot of them on my phone, and I'm gonna use that to help write the book. But my next book is called Danifestations.
Okay, Danifestations.
Yeah.
See what you did there. Good name. That's clever.
Because as far as when I was out there in the cold, I was holding up 2 rocks because I had lost 30 pounds, and those rocks weighed 30 pounds. And I was sitting in this weird pose because I was like, everything else I tried didn't work. So let's try something weird and do yoga. What's that? I got into this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it. I got into Eastern meditation, philosophy, Buddhism, Taoism.
What are some of the
Quran.
books you studied, man, to go start this journey?
Well, this one guy in rehab handed me a book. He said, this will change your life. And like we fought and everything. And he handed me that book. He was in there too, but I don't know.
You said y'all fought?
Yeah, and on the playground. This is like 2019. He handed me a book. I don't know if it was like he's from the streets of New York. He used to be a stockbroker. He's an addict, and then it was called The Fifth Agreement.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I can't read. I don't read books. Like, I have no attention span. I know that I don't. And so I read that book, and then I went back to him like within like 5 days because we had time off at night, and I just not stop reading before the lights out. I went back to him. I was like, what else you got? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, this one's a little bit harder to read. This one's called, well, he said the Think and Grow Rich.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Isn't
like,
that
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
There you go. And so then I read The Alchemist on my own, and then I started thinking about my journey, like how to end up in New York in a rehab in a mountain from a small street in Cushing, Oklahoma. You know, my whole life. I went from LA, became homeless out there. My hero was Will Sampson, and I said I wanted to go play One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And so I basically, my girlfriend in Nebraska broke up with me because I just went out there when I heard the opportunity. And she had all my stuff packed up. And anyway, I went out there and I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any food, didn't have a job, nothing. I worked at the hostels, cleaning rooms just to live in one of their buildings. And I hadn't eaten. I lost like 65 pounds. I could barely walk. My commute was like 3 hours to Little Tokyo just to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? Taking this train to the subway just to get to Little Tokyo, just as this little thing. And my health ran out. Like it was like a 3-hour commute, just walking all these things. And then I couldn't sleep because I was anxious, and I was up for like a month. You know, like it was weird because I put myself in the hospital. And that's whenever I found out that if you want to get real deep into this, like it's like, I don't know if you've ever hallucinated, like hardcore where you don't even know if this is real right now. Like I saw my brother and my mom running out of the hospital when I was there. I took off. I ripped this thing out of my arm and took off after him because I was talking to my heart monitor because there was somebody in there, and like people were like diving under the bed and stuff. I mean, I had been without food or proper water. I was drinking out of the sink in California, which is like the worst, probably, like water, and like just staying sick. I was constantly sick, and I couldn't hold anything down, and I was just drinking alcohol. I was drinking any alcohol I could find. I ended up in the streets on the stars, Hollywood, next to a guy in a rolled up egg crate, and he was pissing on himself, and I was drinking his vodka. Like that's what when I said when I was a kid I wanted to be an actor and be that's how far it got. I was out there on the stars laying there, and the guy walked over me. Some dude walked over me, literally, and I found out how much I mattered. And that's when I was like, I ain't shit. I was an all-state basketball player. I was a DJ on K-Hits here. Like I was like I've done billboards but I literally was just a dude that just got walked over. And then when I went to the emergency room, I busted out of there, and I had one sliver of battery. The cops were like, because I was wandering through the halls, I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know where it was, and they gave me one of those those banana bags, you know, like that helps rehydrate you and everything. And that made me good enough to run, I guess. And then I called my friend, last guy on there. I was like, I'm at this and this. Hung up. And he found me, got me back to the airport, got me to my mom. I hallucinated the whole way home. I think I drank some bad something because I was drinking whatever I could find in bottles. Like, I don't know if it was ayahuasca or whatever. I've never done that. But it was like these faces were like coming at me in my dreams, and it was the worst thing. Okay, so if I could see all that shit, and like when we were riding home, like there was like moths flying in there, and then it wasn't there. None of that stuff was real. So like I really thought I was damaged forever. My mom did too. Like they had to take me to get some kind of like shot or something the next day. They're like, just sleep. So I slept for like 3 days. I hadn't really slept that whole time out there, and my mom had me paint the barn. She fed me. She got me fed. Like, you know, she had me like do some things to get me better. And that's when she's like, you should go with your brother in New York to help out. So it was by chance, you know, I ended up out there, and that's when I met my wife, and she just beat my ass into shape, I guess. I mean, she literally like took this crumbling giant and like shit.
No, that's crazy, man. That's real crazy. So you said you went out there with your brother, and what'd you do with your brother while you was out there?
He's a chef.
Okay.
And so I was helping him do caterings and stuff. But I was still drinking, and I didn't understand what I did wrong. Like I was like, sorry.
No, take your time,
Hey,
man.
I mean, me and Gavin are both recovering addicts, by the way, so
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
we understand what it's like to be at your lowest point and everything, and there's definitely no judgment. We get that and everything, so.
Yeah, I mean, you're either great at failing or you're great at being great, but whatever you're doing, you're being great.
I'm 11 years off heroin, so we know what's up. We'll feel you.
Yeah.
But look where you're at.
Good.
You've come so far though, man. All that shit you're telling us about is amazing.
So your brother took you out there. Did you have any like experience cooking before that or anything?
Yeah, well, my mom had a restaurant, so
Oh, damn.
I was like flipping eggs when I was like 11. Like,
Okay.
I was learning all this, and I was like our waiter, the busboy,
So you know the
cashier
whole
guy.
restaurant.
Yeah, I got that, and it's still a passion of mine. That's why I cook at the ranch sometimes. Like, but it just wasn't. It wasn't. I had to change my reward system. Like, whenever I was a kid, like you work really hard on the weekend, you get to go drink at the end of the week, you know, and so that was success. Even in the radio, like I was hanging out with all the American Idols. Like they'd come to town, and we'd take them out to eat or something, or do like behind the scenes ticket giveaways with Hanson or Stain, Tool. They'd come to town, so it was free, everything free. And so like the more successful I saw people, like they had better labels on their bottles, you know, and I was like, that's success. But apparently, I'm not very good at drinking. But I was trying to find that comfort, like, and even like my body from being so big in basketball and stuff, my back hurts. So I didn't want to take drugs. I didn't want to do a prescription. I didn't want to do anything in my arm. So I was like, drinking is the only thing that kind of took it away, and my pain from, you know, my parents' divorce, my brother's leaving, like the whole like traumatic being kind of left without. Like I went to a Christian college to go play basketball just because I thought, you know, that's what I was supposed to do. Like my dad would be there to watch me play basketball, and then like it's just all these expectations just were empty, just like monkey bars that weren't there, and then I just said, like, I'm in the street and no one's saving me, you know?
Right.
Like my parents left when I was like 15. My dad moved in with some lady, and my my stepmom now, sorry. And my mom moved to Nebraska, and they were just gone. I was just in an empty house. So I went to my friends, and
15?
yeah, I went to my friend's house to eat. And his parents were doctors, and I was like, I go to their house. They had a cleaning lady, and I was like, they said, okay, we're gonna fit you for this suit. We're gonna go to this nice dinner, this place. And like, he's an orthopedic surgeon, and I started like, straightening my collar a little bit, and I started like learning how to put my fork on certain parts of the plate, and where does my water glass go? I learned the etiquette of like, oh, the white man, it's like reverse Kevin Costner, right? So then I was like, I like this. And so my taste for like fucking the best caviar, I don't want the regular stuff. I want the best, right? I started, oh my gosh. And I was like, how do I get that? And then with the lack of, like, I was good in school and stuff, but I'm not one of these sit down and I couldn't do accounting. I'm either going to dunk a ball and drum in front of 30,000 people, paint a painting that's worth 4,000, be in a movie, or whatever else you got for me. You want a very intense tattoo? I'll give you that. I can do all that stuff, but knowing that, it's like I said, I don't like to be cocky. I like to be confident because I do put my time in. It's not something that just like I really, really worked for 18 years on my drums. That's the reason like I'm pretty good or okay. You work hard at what you do. You got this. You manifested this.
To me, that's the key to all of it. A lot of people see motherfuckers on screen, or they see, all the successful part, but they don't understand the behind the scenes and the takes. Right. This shit doesn't end. It's every day, every night. You know what I mean? To get to where we going. Yeah,
I was lifting weights with The Rock at 5:30 this morning. What'd you do? Shit. You know what I'm saying? And so if you didn't do that, you can't talk to me today.
That's what
I got something to do. I beat you. I got stuff to do.
Beat you today.
My back's against the wall. My back's against this motherfucker. Every day.
Hard today. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Right.
No, because I definitely agree to that though. Like I said, I've talked about it time and time again. The behind the scenes, nobody ever knows how much goes into this shit, how much goes into these things that we love.
Or it's not, or it's just like, oh, that's just that acting thing.
Right. They don't get it. You know what I mean?
Like seriously, like Martin Scorsese shook my hand and told me that I was magnificent to my face. And to everybody else, he just like, who said that the first time when you said that? Was that you that?
That was Redbeard.
Oh,
yeah.
Who says magnificent? Do it.
It's magnificent.
He's magnificent. He's
it's
like
magnificent.
I just saw these little eyebrows go up, and I just told him, "Thank you for telling our story." Because no one would ever hear about the murders of the Osage people.
So do you feel it was done pretty accurate without putting too many spoilers or information out there?
I think
we here now. We can talk a tiny bit.
I think. Your best expectations, like you can leave them way back there because they're way better. It's more, oh my gosh, I don't think, like you'll wish that they could pause in the middle of the movies and give people a break to compose themselves to come back to watch the next part.
That's tough. That's crazy.
Yeah. Because it's...
Shout out Martin. Keep going.
Right.
Like my
Leonardo DiCaprio,
you're
Scorsese, De Niro, Brendan Fraser, all my native guys out there, all you guys. It was amazing. Everybody got into it so much that it was almost scary because there's no power lines. There's just buffalo, this bark lodge, feathers on these. I don't want to talk too much about it.
I feel like being there would make me feel like I was in a different era. You know what I'm saying? It just the way you describe
I was that guy. I was that guy.
Yeah, looking at you. We're talking about. He showed me some pictures.
People walking around me. But here's the thing. Okay, this is the whole movie thing. A week before, I was working on set with like 15 of these people on a smaller film. Like, right? So people in Union, they bounce around to different films. So you see people and we're all like doing the grunt work, picking up like giant rocks and digging the stuff out so the scene will be flat, and, like carrying all the waters and in the mud, starting the generators in the forest. And then next thing you know, like you're up here and they have to serve you drinks. You know, saying that they're bitter at you because like they have to do it and they have to be quiet and they have to say, "Mr. Warrior, we would like to welcome you to set." You know what I'm saying? They have to say that to me, and it's like, we're still whatever, but they were feeding me ice chips. Like some guy was fanning me off. Like my makeup lady was touching. This one makeup lady was 4'11". So I had to I had to do the splits and like get way down here so she could fix my braids and stuff.
It's the caviar all over again.
Oh my gosh, and that's what it was. And like it's just you flip from that side to that side. Like I went from being a worker on Trejo's movie to being, and it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I could talk about it. Everyone else was in it too. All my friends were. But like flipping to that side, and then I said, this guy came up. He's like, Mr. Warrior, do you need anything? Would you like your regular Diet Dr. Pepper with ice or no? I was like, how does he know I like Diet Dr. Pepper?
Scoping you out.
And I was like, Zach, I was like, you don't have to do the. I was like, he said, we're in a different situation, Warrior, and he walked away. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew, like there's that line that once you're that side, you're that side. So it was like I fucking like that. I like that, and that's what I did my first red carpet, and I keep telling everybody like it was like having an orgasm. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to get the fucking next one, and I was like, I don't care how many I get this year. I'm gonna get all of them, motherfucker. Put me in your shit. If you guys have anything going on, put me in. You want to play a giant native avatar? Look what you get. This one guy is writing this comic book.
Okay.
And he approached me at Walmart of all places, and he's like, "You're him! Oh my gosh, I've been looking all over for you." And like literally, like he was waiting by the rotisserie chickens because I always talk to the chicken lady in there because me and her are tight. She knows all my secrets, and she's like,
shout out to that lady.
She's like my
chicken lady.
She's like my oracle. Like I go in there and tell her as soon as I walk in and check it. She's like, "Okay, come tell me what happened." And she just knows. Yeah, she can see by my face. I'm like, okay, I'll go tell her. I was like, I got to go to Florida and do this. I got to the red carpet. I got to do this. She's like, that's so awesome. You should get this chicken. I made it just for you. Like, it's awesome. So, because I don't have a lot of
It is awesome.
because I don't have a lot of friends. You know, like I don't have like people that really come hang out with me or that know my stuff along the way. She was there from day one, man. Mm-hmm. She was there when our camper landed in the church parking lot. Faith Church, and they let us stay there for a couple of days, and all of our food had fallen out of the fridge, and it was just sitting in the Oklahoma sun for like 5 days. And she knew me from then. She gave me some food.
She had day one. That's crazy.
So now she's like, is that Leo in that picture? Is that I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I'm so proud of you. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
The chicken lady.
Shout out to the chicken lady. That's beautiful. That's crazy.
And so that's kind of how we got to that point. And the movie thing is, well, it's different. It's different because it's like this when you're in a setting where people are creating, and you have like minds, and you have that third brain, that almost Venn diagram of everybody's thoughts that's not ours, and you create without imposing your energy that's not for the purpose, and then trying to say, oh, that was dumb, that was stupid, and nobody can open up, and everybody just feels stupid, and that's why everyone doesn't go and do stuff like I do. You know, I got a fire in my belly. I'm gonna do the opposite of what you think I can do. And anyway, what I'm saying is that collective mind, without anybody shooting you down, is the most powerful thing on the planet. We can start a company right now with us four and just throw this table and go start a business right now. We can start a production company today. I got investors. I got everything right now. I got 20G in equipment right now ready to be used on a movie today. Let's go make a movie. You see what I'm saying? That's doing. Throw it in. Let's build a building. Let's go put a foundation down, dude. I'm ready.
I grew up in the construction.
So,
That's how you manifest it. Did you guys think about that? Hold on, I want to stop. When you made that, like, when you saw that and you saw the production company and your eyes went out there, that's an electric bolt. Keep that. Because that goes, and this is all the yeses and nos that could happen. But that furthest thing that you saw is a manifestation. And you saw, like, what your colors were on that logo, right? And you were like, hey, the building's going to look like this. There's a green screen right here. There's a car I'm driving up to it. And you pick all that out, and now it exists. It literally exists in a universe, it's like the 11th dimension.
I love that this is the mentality in which you operate off of.
Everybody.
Because again, this is a mentality that, and they'll attest to it, that I very much operate off of, man. If it's something that you think is something that you could do, you call it, you know what I mean, just touching your toes. I call it getting the fuck up off the couch. You know what I'm saying? That's literally all it takes, man. You got an idea. How do I want to do it? I'm gonna just get up and do the motherfucker. You know what I mean? And I love that, man. Not a lot of people. You know, some people got that mentality, but you know, it's
Well,
hard
it's
for
Eastern
some.
philosophy. The doing is the same equivalent as karma. So what you do is what outcome you get. And you also play stupid games, get stupid prizes. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Man, tell us a little bit about you know what I mean? Since we dropped it, you know what I mean? Can you talk about that thing on Hulu coming?
Your favorite Reservation Dogs?
Yeah, can you talk about that?
Second season?
Yeah, let's talk
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh, guys, you're gonna love it. I'm starring one of them. I haven't got the call yet, which is fine. but I already manifested that too. So if it's supposed to happen, it happens. Well, you know, there's a certain when you do Hollywood, you have an IMDb, you have credits, you have your credentials that say this is what kind of movie you did, this is kind of, and my IMDb just started, so I really don't even have my credits lined up until the movies come out, so I can't put anything on there. The Mid-Thunder casting and all the ones that do the casting for them, they deal with really high-end, already established actors with tons of credits that you have to have this many numbers in order to get a call. A lot of the people that Sterling brought with him were his family, and
Shout out to Sterling.
Yeah, amazing. I look up to him, and he's like a brother to me, and I see him everywhere. And it's just like just fist bump, like, and that says it all. But so a lot of it's out of his control. You know, like a lot of people, like even my friends were all on the set. Like if they picked whatever, I'm okay with it, man. I've been busy without like having to be on set, and luckily, like it's cold out there, that they had all their jackets on working. I saw people snapshots and stuff. That's fine. So I wish them, like, I hope they do amazing. DeFaro messaged me and told me he wants me to hang out with him, meet his new friend, and
That's dope.
stuff like that. I mean, those are my friends. When you feed somebody, it's different. It's like a different relationship. Like, and like I don't really care. Like, did you eat today? You know, like how, you know, did you need a drink? You need something like cheese. Like he always gets the same thing. Like Paulina likes her stuff brought to her awesome trailer. You know, stuff like that. You can do it at West Studi. He just wanted black coffee. You know, like when I met West Studi, they said I was making a latte or something, and Sterling's like, "Hey Warrior, can you get Uncle Wes a coffee?" I was like, "Uncle Wes?" And I turned around, and he's wearing that copper head thing.
Yeah.
And I turned, I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, my mom has a crush on you. That's the first thing that I could say, and I was like, "Oh, that was dumb."
I was real good friends with one of his nephews, Travis Studi, growing up.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Back in
I didn't know it was
Sky
from
City.
around here. Oh, yeah, but seeing him, and like, you know, I met him in New York, like when I was like real big. I'll show you that picture later, but like I told you I was gonna be in a movie. He's like, you did it, because I kept telling him he needed to put me in one of his movies.
That's dope, man. I want y'all to know that this man has a big portion of his life documented in his phone, like I said.
He's ready for the documentary.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna piece together, because a lot of this, unless you saw the journey and you think like, oh, it was just a couple weeks or a few days, like it is not stopped. You know what I'm saying? It started when I went from. It was really kind of the day I called my mom and asked her if she had been eating her vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start checking on your mom and you make that switch, like when you go from being fed to the feeder, and now you have little kids, and now you're like, shit, who's gonna help me? And like, you know, and like my baby son has poop up his back to his neck. I'm like, who's gonna clean that? I have to. You know what I'm saying? Then you just like, you make that switch, and then it's like checking, you know, the diapers, like making sure everyone's set, make sure that everyone's breathing at night, you know, like it was a switch. And the thing was, the decision is, even though you're on the mountaintop, I mean, you're on the cliff, you're ready to jump, and you don't know, you don't have time to look down and see if you have a parachute or not.
Mm.
And you're either going to jump into the clouds right here where you don't see what's down there and hope that the parachute's there. You either fall or you fly, you know, and I had no choice. I had to fly.
Mm.
And so now it's like even at my work and stuff, like I do things better than everyone just because that's my standard and I know that I can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why half-ass this shit? Like, when I paint a picture and my line isn't fucking straight, like I get like kind of pissed and I like have to walk away and go outside and swing in the air and stuff. And it's like a paintbrush, you know what I'm saying? Or a graphic design thing. Like, that t-shirt looks so stupid, you know? Like, my standards are ridiculous, but because I know that I can do that, I've already seen it. And I've already seen me next to DiCaprio on the red carpet, and so I'm like, all right, what am I gonna say to him? And then I go that through my head. Then it's just like another dude. You're just like, so when you create that reality and use the same brain functions to create it, when you get there, it's just like you already did it. Mm-hmm. You can run 100-mile or 100-meter dash in your head 10 times, and then when you get on the track, the brain scan will say the same thing. Mm. You know that? That's
yeah,
visualize.
If you dream something or hallucinate something or meditate on something and visualize it, put yourself through it, really immerse yourself in that experience, your brain basically records it the same way as if you had actually done it.
I was reading a book called It's All in Your Head by Russ, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what kickstarted a lot of things that I'm doing right now. No, I wish. Waiting for that. Waiting for that book. No, he's a MC. He's a rapper, entrepreneur, and things of that sort. And he describes it in the form of you got to be delusional. You got to believe in what you want to do so much, and that you are going to do it so much that it just starts working around you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I love that. Like I said, I love your mentality. You know, it's beautiful to me. Man, before we get off of here, was there anything you wanted to plug up? Anything coming? You know what I mean? Where can they find your shit? Social medias, all of that good stuff, brother.
There's lots of shit coming, but what can you actually talk about?
Exactly.
Right?
That's the hard
Man's
part.
got a lot of stuff we can't talk about yet.
I do have something really cool that I just got back. I got flown. A company asked me to be part of a panel, and for the military, to speak about cultural awareness for Native Americans in the military. So the CEO, the owner of, it's called Indian Companies, her and Larry Yazzie, he's like world famous like fancy dancer. I didn't know. He's like got tons of views on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. He's on full regalia and he's dancing like in Romania, like up the castles and everything. So he's got his full feathers. It's like everyone's staring at him. He's like jumping through and on these beaches with his full headdress and everything. They took me out to eat at the River Spirit at Ruth's Chris, and I was sitting across the table from him. I'm like, who's this dude? Like, he looks familiar, and I'm like, sawing my steak. I'm like, man, I thought this was gonna be like a medium rare, and just like whatever. And I look over, and this dude's like, he's just like barely cutting through a steak like butter. And I was like, why does this steak look medium rare? Like, I was like, what kind of steak did you get? Because we got the exact same, and it was his steak. And he's like, mine's medium well, or medium well. I was like, that's not medium. And he's like, do you want it? I was like, yes. And so he gave me my steak back. That's the first time we met. He's eating my steak. And I was like, you're the guy from TikTok? Oh my gosh. It was like me fangirling over him. And he was eating my steak. So long story short, they flew me out. That was the funny side of it. To Florida 3 days ago. I'm still jet lagging. To talk to this Zoom panel of like 20 people in the military, people in the Pentagon. The lady next to me is in the Pentagon. The lady next to me is like a book writer in Alaska. I mean, they're all like big name people all in this one room. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? what am I supposed to do here? And they're like, you're everything that we're talking about, and you are the reason that we can ask freely what you would prefer, like when people address you, when they say, "What tribe are you from?" What do you say? Nation? Do you say Indian anymore? Do you say Native American? Do you say Indigenous, First Nations people, First Americans? Like, there's so many that we probably don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Because those weren't made up by us. We're not going to come up with names for ourselves. So, best thing to do is just ask. You know what I'm saying? We're all people. We're all civilized enough but it's how you ask and your intent, really. So, in the panel, we talk about that. And when you go to like different tribes and things, like the etiquette of how you approach an elder and stuff like that. So, all that. So, I do know about that. That was my role. So, she's like, I want you to come be on these with us, like at a national level. And I was like, Scoted. And then so we just wrote, one of our ladies there just wrote this entire document that they passed. It's for letting indigenous people keep their hair in the military. Not have to. That's a huge, huge one. Like, yes, it is. And she's like, wait, did you guys hear what I just said? We can keep our long hair. And it was like huge. Like, it was chills and everything. And then yeah, we can practice our traditions and not get penalized for taking time off. And this is the Air Force. And then the next one is being able to wear parts of your regalia or whatever kind of spiritual things you have that are within uniform for the military. So we got all that passed. So Native people are human. We got to be human. We couldn't even vote until 1986. We weren't even considered human until like 70s.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. That was like my mother. I mean, I don't know about the exact year, but it's right around there. It's like
too late.
Mm-hmm.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the Killers of the Flower Moon's about white people coming here, taking all the land, moving the natives up there because they found out we had oil and we were making like $80 million a month, riding around in Rolls Royces with our lights on the powwow and like fancy French clothing and nice foods from bakers from France. And they didn't like it, so they shot us in the back of the head, wrote their name as the beneficiary, and said, "This is my land, my oil now," because they set it up like a suicide, and there was like hundreds of those. They're like, "Where are all these natives dying?" So that was the beginning of the FBI, and that's why all these petroleum companies and oil companies are here. Don't want them to show that movie in November, because that's all it talks about.
That's crazy.
It tells the truth.
That's wild. When was this?
See?
I mean, when was the time?
You see the white man's schooling that they don't teach you? They'll never teach you about that, or Thanksgiving, or the Sooners taking all of our land first.
And I didn't find out about the Black Wall Street thing until about
They're not going to teach that.
It took my boy Abdullah and CJ. We was in the car at 17. You know what I'm saying? You know, I hang with a lot of brothers. Mm-hmm. We was in the car, you know what I'm saying, rolling one day, and me being my little hip hop ass, I'm just like, yeah, bro, we doing this and that. And they were like, yeah, man, but it's about to be Juneteenth. I'm like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? They're like, what you mean, what is that, bro? We from Tulsa. And they're like, yo, y'all motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, came through and fuck. We had a wealthy, you know what I'm saying, thriving community. Anyway, it took them to tell me. And you know what I'm saying? But what is this? Well, I've never heard about this. Educate real quick before we get the fuck off here. That's important. We need to have that talk.
Well, that's the whole movie. There were like letters written from like the guys, women saying like, they were cheating on them, and so they'd show the guy holding the note with the bottle of liquor by him with a hole in his head.
What the fuck?
And then it'd say beneficiary, Thomas White Man. You know, like not white man, but whoever the white guy would be.
Right.
And then go all of his land and oil would go to that guy, and then the next one, and then the dogs were getting poisoned, and then the people were getting poisoned slowly. The men were marrying the women and having them off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like we couldn't procreate anymore because as soon as the native people are gone, white people don't owe us anything anymore. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to get rid of us as soon as possible. Still today, missing and murdered indigenous women. Do you know anything about that?
I have heard about this.
Okay. There's missing women every single day. The red hand over the mouth like this. Mm-hmm. Will no longer be silenced. That's what it's about. There's over 10,000 babies' bodies found under the churches of these boarding schools. You know, they said they either ran off or went missing or got sick, and they're just piled under there. And so they're taking those bodies out and they're taking them back to the reservations today. And they won't show that on CNN or the news, right? They're not gonna show that. They're not gonna show anything national news of what they did to our people. But they're still doing. And that was only like 100 churches. And there's thousands. And it's all what they were trying to do. Is to kill the white man, or kill the man, kill the Indian. Like that's all they wanted to do. Is the scalping thing wasn't us. If white men brought a scalp back, they got paid for it. And the land run, you ever heard of that?
Educate.
Okay. Yeah, you know the Oklahoma Sooners are still using that.
Yeah, that's messed up.
During the land run, they'd take our land, and if they brought our scalps back, they get paid,
After-
and they got to keep that land.
First we took all the land and forced all the Native Americans to live in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we're going to take
That too, and then they imposed on that land. So okay, whoever gets there first, and whoever kills who, it doesn't matter.
It's
You
free
get
land.
the free land. You get to have that,
Run out there and stake your claim.
and you get to kill
And the
whoever
Sooners were the people who
got
snuck out
there,
early.
and they got there first before everybody
those.
else. Those are savages.
That's where that came from, sooner.
Sooners, they were
Yep.
the ones who went out.
Took the
Like,
land
they
first.
snuck out a day or two early to find their claim.
The best land with the water and like the nice ponds and lakes and stuff in the back, the stuff they
The
can.
Oklahoma land run.
So are they gonna let this movie drop, or are they trying to?
It's Scorsese, like
It's gonna
it's, there's no. It's gonna tell some truths. It's gonna tell some truths, and they don't want to hear that. And some Native people are gonna start being looked at differently.
Might
Because
grab some
listen,
books on it.
we had the most money in the world, more than the Egyptians, more than the Africans, more than all Europe.
See, and this is shit that you don't hear about. Ain't nobody spoke
Because
of.
they
This
don't.
is
They want to
crazy.
sweep it under the rug like it never happened.
Right.
It's critical race theory.
That's exactly what it is.
No, that's
So-
wild. That's crazy.
So none of this just
White people don't want to
happened.
hear that shit.
Nope.
No.
They whitewash everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Wipe away history.
Most of the kings you see in the paintings have been painted over with white faces. They were black people with perfect
Well, I
armor
mean,
fit to their
Look
bodies.
at all the portraits of Jesus with his fucking blonde hair and blue eyes.
That's why we call him White Jesus on Red
I call him
Dogs.
White Jesus too.
Yeah, on Red Dogs.
What's up, White Jesus?
What's up, White Jesus? Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like, people's eyes are opening, and it's not just some. Here's the people that are in power and control, and that's just how we're going to live anymore. We're starting to wake up and be like, hey, if they did that to those guys, what happened to us? Why are we all still drinking fluoride and putting in our toothpaste for our kids? They just had to admit that it does deplete the function of childhood brains to keep us dumb to watch football and buy Walmart stuff. Consumerism.
You're not supposed to ingest fluoride at all.
Well, it's in everything that we use
Yeah.
daily. That's why they put it in the water system. There's no use for that, but it calcifies the pineal gland. You guys into like neuro stuff? Anyway,
You know, stuff's like this of the brain, neuro, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep. The top of your
Shout out
brain
to
stem is the pineal gland. You can see it in all the old research for Egyptians and everything.
Third eye.
Third eye. It keeps you sharp and like out and seeing reality of what we're in. Take this for example. There's a ball in the sky. It's on fire. Like it's just floating in the sky. Think about it. It's just there. Like this is what we're doing here. But out there's a ball sitting there. Sitting, like not going up or down. It's just in there, right? You without your eyes to see it, it would just be warm every once in a while. Right? And if you didn't have eyes, you never heard of eyes before, they wouldn't exist. The bird's vocal cords wouldn't exist if you didn't have ears to hear
That's wild.
it. Yeah,
A sound is only a sound because it's heard.
right. That's what I'm
If a
saying.
tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? No, because it's not. I mean, if there's nobody to hear it, a sound is something that's
There's
heard.
no observable. And the tree wouldn't exist if you didn't have a lung. That's how connected you are. You're not separate from this thing you're on. So
All involved together.
it's thing environment. Thing environment, and like you couldn't see like a picture of a person just floating in the air, right? They have to have something on it. Like you have to have context of what it's on, what's running without a ground. So that's when it gets deep. I can get you thinking like that.
No, yeah, we're gonna have to have more
Because
talks.
yeah, get you into that. You'll be like, "Am I even here?" Because like, open your hand. Who did that? Now, before you say "I," tell me where I exists. Is it between your ears, behind your eyes? Is it in here?
That's where I feel like.
Is it in here?
Sounds
What you feel?
inside.
But is it, where does it exist? Like, if I cut your arms off, where would it be then? If I cut your legs off, where would it be then? Would it stay in here? Like, where does it exist that keeps you going?
I don't know what, you know what I mean, right in, but I do want to answer. You know what I'm saying? To me,
Yeah.
I is mind and soul. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, but you're
maybe
in a
the
meat
brain-
suit right here. Like, where is it in there? Like, what's keeping you?
I don't know, give me the
What's
answer.
beating
Give me
your
the
heart?
answer, Warrior.
What's beating your heart? Who's running your thyroid gland? You know what I'm saying? You have these little balls right here in your eyes, like right there's a little hole right there with light coming through it that sends these little sparkles to the back of your occipital lobe that make a picture of a giant Native American in front of you. Right? How? How does this make the right thing all the way back there in a piece of meat inside of a dark head bone?
That's crazy.
I wouldn't want to take acid with you, man.
You will find out that when the thing that opened the hand, that you don't know how you did it and how you can keep doing it, or the process of it. You can do it, but you can't tell me how, right? And who decided to do it, and how my voice vibrations went in your ear and created that thought to do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's levels to this shit. It's levels.
Right? Because once you get there, then you're like, okay, well, what if I zoom in my hand all the way to where my molecules are the size of my fist? Well, the next molecule would be down the street. You zoom in on that, on an atom, the next atom would be like in Oklahoma City. So
We're
that's
mostly
so the
negative
space, so the space between those two things is still space.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically more nothing than you are something.
much more.
That's crazy.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a whole bunch of nothing.
Thank you. Shout out. Real quick, man.
I'm not Jesus close.
Real quick, before we do hop off here, I want to ask you one more question because that shit was tripping. Yo, you ever did a sweat? My mother always wanted to take me to a
Come on
sweat,
down
by the way.
to, we have sweats once a week if you really want to come. You want to
My
go?
mother always wanted me to. I would love to go.
We do it once a week, and we even go to Pawnee and do like real hot ones.
I was just scared of sweats, man, because I always thought I was gonna learn some shit about me. But that's what it's
Well,
for. You know
How
what
long
I'm
do
saying?
you guys do it for?
It's like
Yeah,
literally
that
like
mushroom experience, so.
I would
nothing
like
like
to go,
that.
man.
No, you don't take anything.
Could I legit go?
It's a sauna. You ever been in a sauna? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
take you. Or a hot room where you pour hot water or water on hot rocks and it steams you.
It would mean a lot
And
of
you
fucking
sing and
if
pray.
you- if
I'll
you
take
agree
you.
with me, brother, for real.
You just have to tell our main guy like why you want to go. He just doesn't want like tourists, and, you know.
Attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to delve into self, so that's why I want to be there.
You'll learn that this is medicine.
Mhm.
You'll learn that these are medicine. You'll learn that you're protective stones. You'll learn about the grandfathers. You'll learn about what is running the ship.
Mm.
Who's moving around that meat suit.
I want to fucking go to this so bad.
I definitely would like to, but we'll
All right.
talk more out
Hey.
there about it. But that's something I would love to do. Man, real quick, brother, thank you for just coming and spending time with us. You know what I'm saying? I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I
I
hope I
definitely
just stayed on
enjoyed it.
track, man. You got me emotional because like it's more than just people that say, "Oh, I want to manifest something. I want to feel good." Close my eyes, look to the, and say, it's not that. It's like when you're on your fucking knees, like, and you have nowhere else to go, and your hands are scraped up so bad from hitting the ground, and you're just like, "What the fuck else do you want from me?" And you decide whether to push yourself up or lay down. And I couldn't stand not having a warm house for my babies, you know? And like I looked around and nobody was coming to save me. And I said it. It's from a cartoon, but I said all the stuff that I wanted and with my intentions for the right reasons for that dream that I saw for a split second. I said, instead of saying that's gonna be too hard, I said, I can fucking do that. I can do that. And I did. And I got up. I kept looking at my babies and I was like, I hope you're too young to see all this because it's about to get good. And I just want them to see my movies and say, that's my dad. That's more than gold. That's more than gold to me. So I'm just saying, you have to say that shit with your heart's fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's from a cartoon, but I'm like, if you don't mean that shit, you're not gonna get it. But you have to believe you deserve it. And once you can say, I am worth it, then the universe will build that shit. From like places you wouldn't even expect. People were calling me. They're like, hey, I got like $1,600. Do you want it? I'm like, fuck. I need $1,600 for my tow package on my van to get my trailer out of here, you know? And I just stopped worrying about money because I made it this far. You know, I made it without money. And then I was like, how do I make my money work for me? I'm not going to work to live anymore. I should be able to go in the woods and bang a drum and sing to the sky without having to pay to live. I have to like think of someone that's in control of me. I never punch a clock for anybody else. I never have to say no to my daughter when she wants something, which I'm going to because she's gonna appreciate shit, you know. But hey, I see all these guys on TV. They did it. I can do it. We both have hands. Somehow I can move mine just like they can move theirs, right? So I can fucking do that. Watch me. So I came over here. I was already like in my feelings a little bit because like I can't believe someone asked me to come be on their show.
Brother, it's a blessing to have you. That's what I said earlier. You talked about nerding out sitting in front of TikTok, dude. I mean, it's dope that I get the opportunity that the universe has placed you here with me. You know what I'm saying? That Russell introduced you to me. That moment I got to shake your hand, this man towering over me, I'm just like, yo. And you were like, y'all was on 106.9. Yo, you heard of Reservation Dogs? I'm like, what the fuck is happening, bro? But I believe very much so that these are things that are being placed.
Let me tell them the real story. Let me tell the real story. I walked up to the stage and I was like, Russell, let me get your picture, you know. He's like, whoa, that's Warrior. You know who he is? He's in this and this. He started announcing all these movies and stuff I've been in. And I was like, oh my gosh, all these people I just wanted to get a good picture of them because it looked really cool from when I walked in. And I was like, they look like fucking stars. This guy did a bang up job making the set look good. And then when I walked away, I saw him walk by. I was like, oh shit, that's like the guy that runs this whole thing. And I was nervous and Russell's like, no, I want you to come meet him.
That's crazy to hear you say that she was nervous because I'm nervous.
Because I didn't know who you were. I just knew you had a show all of a sudden. And then he walked over and he's like, Russell's like, hey. He's like, dude, I got to fucking piss. I got to piss, dude. And he's like, Russell's like, no, you got to meet Warrior. He's like, dude, I got to pee. And he's like trying to get to the bathroom and he stopped him. And so I knew the whole time we met he had to pee. I was like, just go. And I was like, nice to meet you. And he's like, we got to do a show, man. But it was just funny because he was like trying to get to the bathroom. And I felt like I was holding him up, and then he called me. And from the minute one, he was calling me king, and he made me feel like a fucking king this whole time.
That's how I view you, man. I don't use that. I believe there's a king and queen within everyone. First and foremost, if we all trace back, you know what I'm saying, to Africa, what were they? They were kings and queens and things. Therefore, there was king and queen in all humans. You know what I'm saying? Some of them just don't show those qualities or traits much, or they don't think about it.
No, we were taught not to.
Right.
The men were taught not to talk to the men like. Build each other up, be brothers, be.
That's all it's about for me, man. Unity and building one another. We all king and queen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But when shit goes down, you want 4 men that love each other, because you know what I'm saying. We're gonna fucking we have to survive as a tribe. You know, we're in the woods. We gotta survive. You're not gonna be around someone you don't like to be around, or someone you don't cherish or take care of.
Man, you gotta meet my mother.
We got a tribe, dude. We got a tribe, bro.
That's what I'm saying. You got to meet my mother. She's going to fall in love with your ass. Really quick, too, I want to back on that story. I do want to say, too, man, you said the coolest fucking thing to me. So, first off, it's crazy that you said you was nervous because I was hella fucking. I'm still nervous sitting here with you right now.
I always get nervous. It just makes me feel like I'm alive, I guess.
But, man, you know what I'm saying? You said the coolest thing to me, you know what I'm saying? He was like, you're the DJ Khalid of podcast. And I was like, what the fuck? So when I heard that, man, I was just like, man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Life is full of blessings right now, man, and we're only going up from here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to the universe and things, you know, for putting it on for us. You know?
Yeah, man, it's still coming. Like it still happens as you are thinking. It's like building those steps as you're like stepping across them. Like you can't look down anymore.
Right.
Like it may feel like you're walking on clouds. Sometimes it feels like you're walking on glass.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like. You look at that mountain and say, all I need is that next step. That was my problem. I was at a mountain in New York and I was cussing the creator and I was like, I'm just gonna burn this tobacco and give it to you and give out. And then I just yelled, and I was looking at the mountain, how much further I had, because it was a rehab, and like they gave us a chance to get out, and I was in no shape to do anything athletic because drinking that much, that long.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of mad we had to even do it. And as soon as I yelled about how far the mountain was up there, my foot like conveniently hooked underneath the root that was like right, and my foot went all the way in, and I just bit it. I hit the ground so hard, right on my throat, on my Adam's apple, hit the ground first. That's a long fall for me, and it's like 7 feet from sky to ground on my Adam's apple. But that was his way of saying, hey, you don't have to worry about any of that if you can't do this right here.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's out there, but it's not the trophy, it's the journey. And all the stuff I had to go through to get there. And the sitting in front of Martin Scorsese, and he said, okay, action. And I'm like, oh shit. And it wasn't that I was sad that I was there, or I was sad that I, you know, for the movie part, like it was a very, very sad part. But when I opened my eyes and I realized I'm sitting by A-listers, and then I'm in this thing on a Hollywood movie, and my kids are at home, and I couldn't get my daughter a gift for her birthday yesterday, but I'm sitting here. So from that camper all the way to sitting there, that's why I cried, because I did it. I made it, and I wasn't just surviving. I'm on the #1 show in the world.
I think that's incredible. You keep saying the journey. You're gonna keep me talking. We about to end, I promise. But you brought up the journey. I feel like so often that people concentrate on the prize, the end, and it's not about that
No,
at
it's
all.
not that. Think how much it took to get. It's just about. It doesn't mean anything. You know,
does.
we give things power. Like
the journey's what molds you. The journey is all of it. It's the story. It is the painting. You know what I'm saying? To me, that makes everything so beautiful. If you can't appreciate the journey, you can't appreciate when you get the belt. You know what the fuck?
that doesn't
You know
mean
what I'm
anything to me.
Right. You know what I mean? It's the journey. It's the fight that I had to put into. You know, I had to beat 4, 5 motherfuckers to get this shit.
Right.
That's what.
And they're
makes
not
the
getting
belt
it
worth
back, right?
Right. Exactly. Because I worked so
Come
hard.
take it from me. I want to see you.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out with all due respect, Rap Battle League. We about to do the championship match, motherfucking July 30th, man. That's me and the Queen's anniversary. You know, I got to shout out the goddess. You know, shout out to my woman. Man, again, thank you so much for rocking with us, brother. You know what I mean? It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. We about to chop it up, man, when we get off this podcast, too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you walk out of here. We're going to talk for a little bit. It's definitely been a pleasure, brother. You know what I mean? Check out my man, you know what I mean, Daniel Warrior. Coming soon to all T's near you.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Like no one knows about that. I didn't really blast it, but 7 Cemeteries. That's with Danny Trejo. Golly, What a Day. That's one we're shooting for Netflix, where I play the giant superhero. The Inhabitant.
Is this the one where you're on with the little white man?
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Crossfire. We're still working on funding for that one, and then a couple of little things that they want to see if we can do. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. Some guy called me when it was still freezing outside. He said, "Hey, I want to secure you for mid-year this year." He said, "We're shooting a Sasquatch movie in Southeast Oklahoma."
That's dope.
And he wants me to be a Sasquatch. So
That's dope.
I was like, only if my costume looks real. Like it has to look real, or I'm not wearing it. And he said, "Well, there's going to be 11 of you guys, and they're all over 7 foot."
11 Sasquatches.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, they're getting from all over the world, and they asked to secure me.
That just, you're more likely to get struck by lightning twice than to be over 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah, I'm in the top 1% in the world for my size. Less than that.
It's crazy.
So, but that's why I figured I should do something with it rather than lay in that ditch in Kansas. I was about to give up. Some guy picked me up on the side of the road. He was a Civil War reenactor, Fox and Sharon. They picked me up that night and saved me like 11 years ago, and they kept up with me this whole time, knowing I was in that ditch to now. And he brought me like a medicine bag last time he came down, and we had dinner together. But we just looked at each other from where we started, and he saw me on the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you stop and think about that night. Like I don't even know.
That's big, man.
And they came out of nowhere, and he said he even saw me, and the next thing you know, he didn't see me when he came back around, so he thought I disappeared. But I laid in the ditch, so he came out again, and that's where I was. So
that's big, man.
But he said it never picked anyone up ever. But for some reason, she told me to get you. So thank you. Shout out for that. Still here. About to do some crazy stuff. You know what Native people can do? We're not just for like how white men. We can do like ER, Grey's Anatomy, Seinfeld. And we're really funny. I'm hilarious. That's my next thing is stand-up comedian.
Let's go. I got the avenue
really?
for that, bro.
Dude, I would kill
me and my
that.
wife, we do stand-up. We put on stand-up
really?
shows. You ain't know? Yeah, look, this is me and my wife
listen,
right here doing stand-up.
You really do that,
bro.
Hey, dude, that's so convenient. The universe is.
That's what I said. We here for a reason.
Well, here's the thing. I'm real funny, and the problem is that people want to be my friend when we leave the show, and I don't want to be friends with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm funny, so they're like, "Hey, let's hang out." I'm like,
5 good minutes, and I'll put you on one of these shows. I just need 5 minutes of material, and then we'll build from there. Come
I'll
up
give
with
you
5.
55.
That's what I'm saying. Bring me 5 solid
you can't
minutes.
say,
and I'll
"Are
have
you
on.
SAG? Are you SAG?" I'm like, dude, I'm better than SAG. You can't even put a label on what I can do. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've already seen this shit before.
Most definitely.
You know,
That's what I'm saying, brother. If you
I've already
looking to do
been here
stand up,
before.
I'll definitely put you on some shit, brother.
Well, you have to have a tall enough microphone, or I'm not coming.
We'll raise them up. You got to give me a. I'll put you on some stand up shows. You got to give me a. What's that? What they call it? A side character in movies. You know what I'm saying?
Cameo.
Extra. Put me on an extra somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'll get you in a movie, dude. I'll get you in one today. You ready?
Oh, I really.
I'll get you.
Yeah, put me as an extra. I just want to stand there somewhere and just.
Dude, you'd be good. I just got to eat some headshots.
Most def. We'll talk, man. We got some shit to talk about. Anyway, do you want to plug up social medias?
Mr. Dan Warrior, and Daniel Adam Warrior on Facebook, Instagram. Best way if you want to get a hold of me. I do tattoos and stuff, but I'm real busy now, so probably not. What I'm looking at is people that want to cheer me on because I've had haters my whole life, and I will detect haters so fast and just be gone. I have fan pages people are making about me already, but I mean, not that that's cool, but it's just like I want to be still like this, and so people that still want to be my friend from when I was nothing to now, and like people trying to be my friend now to jump on it.
Dig right.
Cousins out of the water. I mean, out of the woodwork. Like cousins, like.
What my boy Mike Jones
friends.
say? Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all up on me. I feel that shit to the heart, man. You know what I mean?
Well, if you wanna be desirable to people around you and like to women and stuff, do something.
Get up
Just
on the couch,
do something. Like
touch your toes.
Touch your toes. There. And it works. See? So like and put some lights up and some cameras and do something cool like no one else is doing. That's how you can get any woman you want. Just do something. Be valuable yourself. Start in here. Figure out what the fuck's wrong with you first, and if someone would even want to live with you. And then they'll be like, "Hey, this person's doing something for themselves, so I don't have to take care of them." You know, most guys want a mom. Like, do some shit. Make her a queen, right?
Facts.
So I have a lot of respect for. You know, my mom and my wife. And so thanks for sticking with me this whole time. I didn't know. Like no one else took time for me whenever like at the worst of the worst. So appreciate everybody that's been with me. Like I said, I'm like Peter Pan on my Instagram and stuff. Like as long as you cheer me on, I can fly. Right? So you guys thank you for having me, man.
Well, thank you for coming and rocking with us, brother. It was definitely a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, oh yeah, what do we got, man? Plug some shit.
Like, comment, subscribe. Huge shout out to Red Faith Productions. Check him out. He's got some tutorial videos that are pretty badass.
When's the next With All Due Respect live? That's in the works, right?
That's in the works, so we're aiming for the end of May.
You're gonna have to pop out to that.
Where are we aiming for the end of May?
End of May. You know what I'm saying? You know we're gonna have the Okie podcast back out there. Hopefully Tock Signals. Magnez all the way in Cali. We're gonna see what's up.
Is that a rap thing?
No, the like you came to, the live podcast shows, man. You gotta come to that. You gotta come sit. But see, you don't gotta come and just be on the stage. You gotta be on the stage with us.
Really?
You gotta come be a fucking guest.
Dude,
Yeah,
you would change my stars.
That would be crazy if you came to that. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, that's coming at the end of May, man. April 16th, With All Due Respect, Rap Battle League, Barred Out Volume 1. coming soon. You know what I'm saying? After that, May, what is it, May, right? After that, May 21st, you know what I'm saying? All That Matters coming at you, you know what I'm saying? That's about to be nuts. June 18th. I don't got a name for that card, but it's coming July 30th, you know what I mean? Shake the Room Volume 2, get ready. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of work ahead of us. Podcasts on the way, rap shows, comedy shows,
That's what I'm talking
podcast
about.
shows.
And he's creating it out of nothing.
All of that good shit, man, it's on the motherfucking way. You gonna catch me in the cameo one of these films he got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Watch
You'll
him
get
do some
tired of
stand-up.
his face on all the shows you see.
I'm saying, bro, I can't act. I'm only gonna be me in a movie. I'm gonna try. We'll see.
You'll
But,
be fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the With All Due Respect podcast. And for those of you that don't like it, with all due respect, fuck you. And we out.
Fuck you, niggas. I'm about to lasso Castro the asshole, turn him into mincemeat for a ramen casserole. Feed it to a thick booty bad bitch. She'll fucking kill me if I try to feed her cabbage. Pussy fried catfish. I'ma hit them boys with Mandalorian hat tricks. I ain't never had shit till I turn to rapping. Po rapper to rapper, kappa lambda. I'm on some frad shit, packing on packers damage, stamina, stacking damage, acting out like an asses. If you move it against me, it's like molasses. Shoulda